Children from fatherless homes in this country, 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children who have a father in the home. 32 times more likely to run away. 20 times more likely to have a behavioral disorder. 14 times more likely to become sexually aggressive or commit rape. 10 times more likely to engage in drug abuse. It just breaks my heart. No heat, no judgment.
The woman will open up and say, you know what, not having my father really is a problem, really is an issue. And I wish we could get more black women to just point out, wait a minute, it's not cool that your kids don't have that father. It's not it's not cool that you didn't grow up with yours. It's not, I don't need no man. It's not, fathers don't matter. It's not, niggas ain't shit. It's actually, we as a people, we as a culture, we as a community have to deal with each other. And in dealing with each other, if we're creating children, if we're having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with the fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children.
Oh yeah, we are here. It's on. It's popping. Hey, I know it's been too long. I know that some people thought it would never happen again, but it is now here. Please help me welcome my distinguished guest, Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. Thank you, brother, for taking your time and coming on the show here. Get you with the soul clap. Appreciate you, brother. And
Well,
I'll tell
thank
you, man, right off the bat, I am really excited to be here, man. It is an honor to have you on this show. I cannot believe that in all this time of me knowing you, that you have never actually officially been on this show. And for that, I will say I ain't shit. I ain't a good friend. I ain't done what I'm
You
supposed to
ain't
do.
ass.
I don't understand how this much time has passed and we've never done the show here. I do remember early on when we first started doing the show that we tried to do it to where we were streaming from my channel, but my computer and shit was so janky, my equipment was so subpar that we couldn't.
All those things you just said is true, but go ahead.
But nevertheless, over time, I still should have invited. And I don't know how that happened, but hey, man, it's all in the past, and I got you here now, and I'm excited, brother. I'm really excited.
Well, I am too, man. I just want to say that it's a good thing that you have more than 8 people watching you. That is awesome.
more than 8 on a Saturday evening.
Yeah,
They're more than 8. I tell you what, it feels good. I really do feel good that I'm able to at least pull off. That's all I was hoping for. The victory is
right,
done.
right. Because some people believe in this one saying that 8 is enough.
Well, I don't. I don't. I just hoped. I said, hey, look, I hope that when I start, I know sometimes it take a few minutes for people to come into the room. I said, but damn it, as long as I get 9, I'm good. So I'm past 9, so I'm winning. All right. Hey man, I'm glad to have you here. I know we don't have that much time together, so I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to dive right in. And I got some questions about the movie, and I want you to just basically give me your ideas, your thought process, and what you actually trying to accomplish with this project. I personally, I'm extremely proud of what you've done. What this is to me is something that has been long overdue, and I've never seen it before. I think that's the most impressive thing about this project that you did, was that it's never been done before. Nobody has ever even attempted to do what you've done, and to that itself, I'm so proud of you.
It was a labor of love. I'd love to be able to like be able to do more things like that. It was a headache. I don't know if anybody's ever done something like that. It really is a headache. It gets to the point where you hate it. You hate the people involved in it. I started to hate kids. I see why they dad is
You
being
started to understand. I see why these fathers ain't around. It's just bullshit.
you gotta deal with this shit. But after a while, when it finally comes to fruition and you finish it, it's like that marathon. Halfway through it, you like, I should probably quit. And then once you get it done, it's like, yeah. And then you get to look back on it and you get proud. It's like when your kids finally leave the house, you miss them a little bit, but you're just glad that they out there. When they stop selling drugs and they stop prostituting, you feel a little bit better about yourself, and that's kind of what happened. So
Once you realize you've got to the point, say, okay, he or she may not go to jail, and I might be in the clear. I don't have to worry about no bail or no lawyers. Hey, all right, I'm good.
I did. Exactly. So that's how I felt. But it was really fun. Through all of it, it was really worth it. I will say that.
Okay, good. Well, I guess my first question would be, how did you come up with just the idea and the concept, and then once you did that, how did you have the overall balls and the courage to just do what it is that you did and just bring the movie about?
Well, it was one of the things that I had been watching for a while, and it was what I had talked about. And I said, well, since it's what I always talk about, and documentaries were the thing, and then I had been cool with Tariq Nasheed, and then I hung out with Tim Alexander, and I saw Tim had a documentary, and I was like, I'd like to do one on this subject that I don't see anybody talking about. Now, I figured it wouldn't get a bunch of people watching it, but it didn't matter about a bunch of people watching it. I wanted to make sure that the message got out there, because I said, why not take what I do in a small form and put it in a bigger form if it's possible? Okay. And it was a very ostentatious thing that I wanted to do that actually ended up working.
Yeah, very good, very good. When it just comes to the overall, even though the movie is named The Fatherless America, but the overall importance that you just stressed throughout the movie, that overall importance of fathers, what do you think is some of the fallout from the effects of fatherlessness?
You have the self-esteem issue with children. That's one of the biggest things. You have the feeling that they don't belong, because as a child, you do know it takes two people to make you. And when you only see one, you only feel like half of yourself. You don't feel complete. I don't care what anyone tells you. If you know that it took two people to make you, but you only see one of those people,
right,
it messes with you. It destroys your self-esteem. So then you have that. And once that happens, where they go from there is usually downhill. Where they go is, you see things like this. You see the high crime rate. The crime rate is ridiculous. The high rate of abuse of themselves and others. The high rate of dropout in schools. the high rate of, and you can just keep going down the line, all the negative statistics that you think of
Right.
that come from these fatherless homes. And it was amazing to me, and it still is, that you have a society all over the world pretty much who believes that the lack of fathers, and with the numbers that show you it's a problem, they still don't mind doing it anyway. They still
Yeah.
don't mind perpetuating that there's no problem.
So what
So
what do you think that is? Because I've seen this the overall just blatant, I mean, just unequivocally, just you can just see clearly the impact of the fatherless, the fact that we don't have fathers in the home, especially just even to get a little bit more microscopic, if you will. Is that the word, microscopic or myopic? Yeah, just
specific.
okay, to get into just to get into the black community piece of it. We clearly see the fallout from this. And when there's somebody who points it out, it's like you have a problem, you see the cause of the problem, and you are presented with a solution, but yet and still we continue on the path and the course that we're on now, and things are progressively getting worse. It's like if you have a car and everybody's not a mechanic. So I'm driving down the street and my car just stops working. I pull over to the side of the road. A passerby just stops and says, "Hey, what's going on? My car's not working." Oh, okay. They look and see, "Hey, your car's out of gas." Okay, so there's my problem. I see the solution, and I need to go put gas in my car in order to make it work again. If
Mhm.
we're able to just simply troubleshoot and figure out a problem as simple as that, what is keeping us from figuring out this problem and then taking the corrective measures to fix it? I don't. I am truly like perplexed at how we just don't get it and won't try to change.
I really don't know why we won't try to change. I think that there is just this push to give the power to the powerless, or those who feel like they have no power, and that would be the group of women. So they will take power no matter how corrupt that power is. So they don't care how things they don't care how things turn out as long as they're in control. And there are a lot of people in life who just want to be in control. They don't care how things turn out. And society has decided to give that group that power because that group doesn't care how it turns out, as long as they have the power. And the turnout of that is that you are overpopulating the prison system
Yes, I agree.
from these single mother households. So if you have a privatized prison system and they make money off of the beds that are full, just like a hotel,
Yeah.
you tell me if they could produce these jailbird children from day one, which is take the father out of the home, they wouldn't do it. So society doesn't care because look what it's producing.
Yeah. And I just it is like so disturbing to me that we continuously just see, just time and time again, just things. I mean, just like with what DJ Just Jay, shout out to my brother DJ Just Jay, just like what he does around the kids and just the kids that are dying, being abused, being killed, just consistently. And we see, hey, one of the main or most common denominators is a father not being in the home, and we just still won't try to change that. That is just so it is so perplexing to me, I guess. Um it's terrible, man. But moving right along, what would you say would be the top 3 things you would like for men specifically to take away from your film?
That we have more power than we believe, and that we're not victims if we were to take hold of that power. If we were to say, look, there are men in place who have put us as men behind things. There are men in place who've made us feel less than. There are men in place who make us feel like, well, the system is where it is and we can't overcome it. There are
Yeah.
men benefiting off of these men going to jail, and there are men who are benefiting off of these boys growing up having to take Ritalin because their mothers. You got to understand, there are mothers who are putting their kids on Ritalin just to get an extra
Extra
check.
check. Yes.
A father
Yes.
do that. In general, a father wouldn't do that. In general, a father would not think to let me poison my kid, let me dope up my child in order to get an extra check. As men, we kind of feel the need to want to be in control and to contribute. That's what I want men to understand. You can contribute. One of the best ways you can contribute is not look at your fellow male who's going through these issues and laugh and joke. Not look at these women and say, well, they're supposed to have the power. Look at it and say, if they really want to be fair, let's be fair. And if you really care about the seed that you're producing, then make sure that you have just as much right to that child and accessibility to that child as she does.
Wow. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. And I hope that the guys that are watching this, that see this, that they are compelled to say, well, damn, he's right. And then say, hey, let me figure out a way to change that. Let me start being more responsible with just being responsible sexually. I think there's just a huge irresponsible mentality
They claim
we have
some
with
kind of
sex.
echo when you. They claim there's some kind of echo
It's
when
an
you
echo.
speak.
Huh.
Not when I speak. When you spoke.
Is it still there? Yes, it is. I can hear it. Is it still there now? Yes, it is. Why the hell is that happening?
What did it just came out of nowhere?
I just
Didn't it?
can't. Yeah, I didn't even do anything. Okay, is it
Somebody
still
the remix.
still there now? It's gone now. Okay. All right.
If
Cool.
you got it, good.
Yeah. All right. And what would you say would be the top 3 things you would want women to take away from the film?
Top 3. Women.
Or 2 or whatever, or the main one.
That men are needed, that we need to work together, and that their children will ultimately benefit as well as society.
Awesome. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Which I don't know which one should have been one, but just to think about them,
Yeah.
I just don't see why we can't understand. If we do care about the children we produce, why not do what's best for them? I mean, if you think about it, yes, being selfish sometimes feel good. Yes, getting back at somebody feels good. But what should feel a lot better is sacrifice. Sacrifice should be something that we could teach our children. And I think men teach sacrifice because when do women really have to sacrifice? The most woman sacrifices is I'll stay with a man that's cheating on me. He ain't as rich as I thought.
Yeah.
Typically, women aren't sacrificing. Men will literally sacrifice their lives. Right. Men will sacrifice their youth just to make sure they work their ass off to put their kids into a good school. Things like that is what usually men when they're there. And if you're a woman, you can hate a guy, but if you get that guy to love his kid, he'll run through a brick wall for that kid.
Yep.
It's easier for you, even if you don't end up being with him, just to have somebody you can offshoot your kids to, somebody that cares enough. I just you doing it alone is horrible for anyone. Why not keep the person you laid down with around at least long enough to help you raise this child?
Right. And it seems like to me that women want. There it is again. Jesus Christ.
He didn't do it.
What is
Don't you be blaming Jesus.
Don't blame Jesus.
Don't you be up here blaming Jesus. I'm about to get off the show.
Man. I don't know what the heck that is.
That's why I shouldn't have 2 bottles of water on the table. Pick up the wrong one.
I don't know what the hell that could be, man. Oh wait, unless it's something here in the only thing that's different is Skype. So is there something in here that could be doing that? Let's see. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you. So let me just turn it up a little bit. Okay. Maybe that's what it was. I may have had that up too high. All right. Is that better? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. Nope, 2 mics aren't on. I got that. So we hope we're good now. What was your favorite part about the movie?
The finishing of it. I still have not technically watched the entire thing. I can't watch myself. I do not like my voice. I don't my face. But I'm not the only one. I know some people told me I watched your movie while sitting in the other room, just listening to it. I would when somebody asked me, "Will you please make an audio book of this movie?" It was hurting my eyes. I'm getting a lot of requests.
For audio.
Yeah, my largest group of people who bought the DVD at this point is blind people. But um, I would say my favorite part of the movie was this is kind of I don't know if this even makes sense.
Go ahead.
When my daughter was on camera, because she's
Okay.
small. She's smaller than she is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I miss my baby, so I like watching her be small.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That is pretty damn cool. It's like one of the things that I think about just when I'm doing stuff on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. I think about, you know, the message that I want to send and the people that I want to try to help. I do think about, you know, my daughter one day being able to look back at this and just being able to see her dad, and to have her, you know, one day when she has children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, have the opportunity to see their grandfather or their great grandfather and just see some of the things that he did, some of the things he talked about. So I get that piece of it being the other way around, being able to see your daughter. Even when I look back at like old videos of my little girl, you know, even before she could talk, just looking at those videos and stuff like that, I get it. I get how that just touches you, and it's like, man, I remember when I could hold her in my arm and she fit right in this area, and it's like to see her now, just like, man, she getting heavy. Like I can hardly pick her up sometimes. So yeah, I definitely get that. That's cool. Um, I guess for me, my favorite part of the movie, and I don't know how if people may agree or disagree or whatever, but my favorite part was when you were on your block and being on your block, and just the fact that your dad was right down the block, you know what I'm saying, and you didn't know. That's like, oh man, it just showed the true, aside from just your situation, it showed the dynamic and the situation in so many other communities the same way, where there are kids who don't know who their daddy is, and their daddy right around the corner. They daddy, less than a mile away. They within walking distance of their dad's house and don't
Right,
know it, and your dad was right down the street.
right. They daddy done robbed him. You know, he stuck him up. You didn't know that daddy. He
they they walk past their daddy in the liquor store. They going in the strip club. They coming out. He coming out the strip club, and they don't even know. It's just
right. That was your daddy. You sold that rock to. That like man.
right. You didn't even know it, but it was like that was so powerful. That it was just so powerful to see that, like how close something was that was so important to you, and you didn't have a clue. And it was like when I watched it, and maybe I think maybe like the third time I watched it, it dawned on me. I said, "Why in the hell did nobody else tell you that?" And did you ever ask that question? Like, yeah, I get it. My daddy was down the street, but why in the hell did nobody ever tell me? An auntie, a cousin, or an uncle, or somebody? Was there just a thing of just keeping it a secret?
Well, because it was a married man.
Uh,
So, it was one of those things. And then if you're a woman, sometimes you may have just told him, but anybody else you ask, because it ain't like they knew y'all were a couple like that. There might be a few people knew y'all was creeping, but
yeah,
the married man. So you had to keep that on the low. And I think that played the most part of it. I didn't really ask because then once I just remember there was a part where I knew, okay, well, that's your dad. It's like, oh, okay.
how old were you then?
I think I was still relatively young when I knew him, but I didn't know he was. Then there was a weird point that I didn't know he was like there
Okay,
in that place. I was
yeah,
like, wait, he was right there the whole time.
mm-hmm,
It's It was, I guess, around 6, 7.
Damn. Okay, I thought you were gonna say like maybe 16 or 17. Because in that time, and that's what I was maybe thinking, like maybe you were like a teenager, or in that age group to
Nah,
where
at
when
that
you're
point,
young.
at that point, I was already like, fuck this nigga and
Yeah,
kill.
right. Because yeah,
At that point, I was already like, but I did no, I did want to be close to him at that point, but he wasn't around at that point.
yeah.
And then he came back right when I turned 16 for maybe like 2 weeks, and
Mm,
then I didn't see him anymore.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like, and the other thing too that hit me about that was that my dad, when my parents split up, they didn't get officially divorced until I was like maybe in my early 20s. But when they split up, my dad literally like moved like 2 blocks around the corner from me, and I was like within walking distance, and it was like even though my dad wasn't, in the house with me every day, and I would have wanted that. I would have wanted him to be around all the time, but he wasn't. But there was still a part to where I had access to my dad. Even, as a little kid, I can remember 7, 8, 9, 10. And by the time I turned like maybe 12 or 13, my dad gave me a key to his house. And essentially was like, hey man, it's your house. You come over here whenever you want to, just call and let me know, because I might have me a hole or two up in here. But nevertheless, you had access, and it was like that at 13. That meant so much to me to be able to see that I had access to my dad, but that it was more of a thing that my dad was like welcoming me to be around. Like, hey, I may not have this daddy shit figured out, you know what I'm saying, to where I'm a stellar father, but I still want you to know, I want you to be around. And it's like, I think mothers miss that part of it. And especially when they're like raising daughters, little girls look at their mom as a blueprint. They want to be like their mama. They want to act like their mama. They want to wear the clothes their mama wear. They want to walk around in their mama's shoes. They want to put on their mama's makeup. And it's the same thing for a son. And I think that women don't truly get that. There's a part of a little boy that wants to walk like his daddy, talk like his daddy. Anything his daddy do, they want to do it. We want to be with our fathers because that's our blueprint. That's who we identify with. That's who we look like. All of that, it means so much. And it's like for someone to deny a son that, I think it's just totally just beyond a selfishness piece to where they just think that they can make it and I can raise my son to be a good man, even though he don't have a blueprint to be a man. And it's like it's the craziest thing to where we grow up trying to be, what our mothers want us to be, and then once we get a certain age, they just want us to be a man. Like, okay, you're 21 now, you're 18 now, you need to step up and be a man. Step up to the plate and be a man. You need to get yourself together and be a man. It's so crazy to me to have people think that and have that expectation of, us as young boys, and we don't have that example.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, just to see you being denied that just from right down the street, it was just like, man, it was just truly my favorite part of the movie. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that I enjoyed. The girl sitting outside was probably one of my favorites too. After that,
Yeah.
the girl at the park, but I just the movie to me was just the best part was just having it finished.
Yeah.
And I know that probably sounds stupid, but it's probably just having it finished, honestly.
No, absolutely. I get it, man. I get it. Um, I guess the other thing too is just with this entire project, do you think that you accomplished what you set out to do at the conception of this?
Yes,
Good.
I think I did,
Yeah.
and I feel good about it. I feel like I think that just getting it out there and getting it in front of the world that somebody's going to see it, somebody's going to hear it, somebody's going to think, okay, let's do something about this,
Yeah.
and then that's all you can ask for, honestly.
Right. Yeah. Is there anything that you would say in this movie that you wish you could have put in, or that you wish you had taken out?
I wish that I had more, like, maybe like, I guess more like a psychologist standpoint of on it, but I think it was good. I think that was good enough. I think we're fine with what's in it. I think I can go back and do more on the second one. I didn't want to make it too much. I think a lot of what scares me is that people aren't entertained enough. I think I really wish I could have put the scripted scenes that we were going to shoot, that I had tried to shoot. I wish we could have done that, and we didn't. So that's
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right. We only got a couple more questions here. So, number one, I guess, will there be a part 2?
If there's a clamoring for a part 2, then there will be a part 2. If there's not a clamoring for part 2, then I will cuss people out.
I hear that. I will say the one thing that I did not like about the movie, and I said this when I did my review of it a while back, is that I did not like the fact that I wasn't in the motherfucker. And I don't know, I don't know what the problem was, what the problem is, but damn it, I'm not standing for it if it's a part 2 or any other parts or any other Soto film project that I'm not a part of. I don't care if I got to hold a light or do the whole little cut thing or something. Damn it.
Well, I tell you what, what we could do is there's a I think it's called a grip or best boy.
What? God
I don't
damn.
know what that nigga do. The best boy? You can't hire no black man to do that job.
He said a grip or a best boy. I guess I'll be the nigga to put the tape down for the cues. Hey, you stand right there on the X. That's what I do. I can get there, I can hold a camera bag or something. Best boy grip. Y'all see what he do to you, boy? The people won't stand for that. Damn it.
So I don't know what any of these things are, but you just can't hire a black man. So, is there going to be a director's cut? Yes. What's his name is working on that now. I think he should be finished with it pretty soon. He's just adding stuff that we didn't want to put in the regular version, because I didn't want it to be too long. I've seen documentaries of motherfuckers, you go to sleep on them. As a matter of fact, and I'm not trying to be funny, I know I'm a weirdo, but let me see if anybody else does this. At night when I'm sleepy and sometimes I cannot go to sleep, I will go to Netflix and put on a documentary to put me to sleep, not to learn, to put me to sleep.
Wow. I usually just fall asleep.
Damn long, some that I know, and it's not that they're not good. It's just they're fucking long. So whenever I go to sleep, I put this thing on and it talks me to sleep.
Wow. That's weird. I never did. I've never put on a movie or something with the intention of like, yeah, I hope this put me to sleep. But yeah.
Whenever I see it's about 2 hours, I know it's gonna put me to sleep. They're gonna get to talking, and I'm gonna go. So I didn't even want to use my voice too much in it. Like, if you notice, a lot of whenever the transitions were, when there were words, I didn't want to read them. I wanted you to read, because my thought was, if you read, whenever you use any part of you, it's easier to stay up. When you're not using parts of you, you go to sleep. And if I'm reading it to you, you don't even have to read what's on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Jason wanted to know, did you open up the door for more questions and actions with this movie?
Yeah, y'all. Did I open up the door for more questions? Yes. I think what I did was, whether good, bad, or indifferent, more people wanted to talk about it. More people wanted to even just voice that they didn't think it was that big of a problem. But at least you're saying something. At least we're talking. That's all I want. I want us to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear
So
that.
that to me made me happy. As long as we spoke and we're speaking and we're talking about it, and everybody's saying, I was wondering who the fuck said. I'm sorry, somebody sent me a request for some money, and I blocked it.
I said this.
I blocked this nigga.
This is a one-way street here. I don't take requests.
He sent me a message. He said, I'm the lawn guy. Just saw that you blocked me.
This nigga done blocked the lawnmower man. Goddamn.
Free lawn cut, and I just straight up blocked this nigga.
This nigga ghosted the lawn dude. Like, man, I cut this nigga 18 acres of land. This motherfucker ghosted me on the pavement.
But I feel real bad for that, though. This nigga sent me the cash out. So I denied it and blocked it.
God, no, boy. he like, man, I didn't know there's these kind of niggas out here in this part of Atlanta.
Because it's hot as hell out there when you cut that grass.
Right.
When he got that.
I done cut this nigga grass, had me 4 other niggas out here. We done cut this boy grass. This nigga ghosted me. Boy, these niggas gonna kill me if I'm paying on this money.
Well, I not only clicked the decline, I put block.
God, dog. Boy.
So I say, brought all the grass back and threw it in the lawn.
Like, here you go, nigga. Take these clippings back. Boy, man, I tell you. I do have
say, I don't know if you made a mistake or not.
Man. So another question, then I get to my last one. What do you think people main issue is with you having the idea or to pose the question of just us thinking different? Because that's one of the things that I always hear about, people who got something to say about you, whether they're just, critiquing what you do or critiquing the things that you say, or if they're just, on the other end of the spectrum, just, insane, obsessive people that probably literally want to wear your skin as a jacket. Either way, why do you think why do you think there's such a problem with you being the one that's saying, I want you to at least have a conversation and to think differently, or just to think?
I just think those people, there's no real reason, because many of them didn't even see the movie, and they're not going to see the movie, and they're trying to prevent other people from seeing the movie. And I think it's crazy. No matter who asked the question, they're not trying to stop anyone else from asking the question. So why would I be the exception? Now, so I would say that the biggest reason is I'm dumb enough to answer these people or speak to them, and they can get more people to watch them talking about me than not. So it wouldn't matter what they were talking about. Remember, the movie wasn't coming out, so it was a lie. The movie ain't good. So you can't go from saying the movie wasn't coming out to the movie ain't good and he shouldn't be doing it, and you never watched it, and you say you're not going to watch it and nobody else should watch it. That's the dumbest thing in the world, when your biggest argument was he hasn't done it before. Where is it at before? He stole y'all money before. Right. So it's just not that I shouldn't ask the question. It's just the internet has made people like me, if you come up through the internet, you're accessible through people who saw you come up through the internet. So they feel like they can hitch their wagon to your star. I don't see any real rebuff from people watching the movie. Who the fuck sits up there and says Jon Favreau did Iron Man? I can't watch it. Most people didn't know Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't
watch the movie. Nobody says anything about. You don't hear anything about Michael Moore other than just watch the damn movie. My documentary makers, you just watch the movie. Nobody knows anything about the motherfucker who made Loose Change. You don't hear people going around saying don't watch Loose Change because XYZ. Go look to any documentaries that you see online right now. Do you see anyone talking about that? No.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Somebody in the comment section asked a question, and it seemed like a good one. I hope you don't mind me watching. He said, will you interview more single mothers of all races so it doesn't seem like it's one-sided? I don't mind interviewing single mothers of all races, but you got to understand, I did it in a true environment of who walks past you. Who do you walk up to? In order for me to do it with women of other races, I would have to damn near do a casting call. for me to do it of Asian people, it'd be like me doing a casting call for a movie with 1,000 Indians. You got to add some Puerto Ricans in there just to
Right.
get enough Indians. So if I asked like Asian single moms, where would I find enough of them to where it would be interesting discussion, a larger number of them? And then where do I just walk and get them at? When I walk and see them, if they have children, they got a man.
Yeah. And I think more importantly, the question would be, if there is a casting call, would you have a casting couch?
Yes. They already single mothers, so I know they like dick.
I said, man, we've been dealing with Tommy for 6 months with this casting couch. He won't stop fucking the single mother and not interviewing.
Everybody that's in the movie.
He ain't got. We said, look, we don't have any footage, but we got a hell of a porn series going right now. We have the 10 volumes. Solo Films. The casting couch is real.
Yes, listen. But it's always fun to, and the funny thing about this is people look at me and they say, well, why do you laugh about certain situations, things like that? Because it's hard for me when you go back and you look at what we're really discussing. It's sad. It's really, really sad when you see so many children be affected by not having their fathers or their or a good father. You have to remember, it's not just about having a father. It's about stability. You can have a father and this nigga jumping off the top rope every night.
Yep.
You want that. And so I laugh about a lot of things, but then you just see what a lot of the things that we see, the most detrimental things we see in society today, nobody will admit it boils back down to the lack of fathers.
Yeah. I totally agree. It takes away that unchallenged and unchecked mentality, man. It's like the fact that you need both to create it. Why wouldn't you think you need both to raise it? Is that we have to find a way to make families cool again. There was a time when families was the shit. It was all about your family reunion, and your mother and your father being there for everything you did at school, what you did on your baseball team or your cheerleading team, whatever the case may be. It's like we have just gotten so far away from that, and we've started to just totally embrace this single motherhood crap, and it has just destroyed us. And I don't see why we have such a problem with being called out on it and saying, damn, this is messing us up. Let's stop that and get back into this, because this is where things were a lot better. May not be perfect, because like you said, you could definitely have a baby by an ain't shit dude, and you got, a dude who's not a good father, don't have good parenting skills, and yes, but it's still putting you in a position to where you have better odds of raising a much more stable and having a kid in a much more healthy environment. I just hope that we can get back into that. So, yeah. So we pretty much, with all of this being said, we have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I want to be a father and all that stuff. Like I like the idea of it, because to me it is cool to want to be a family man. Now it might be because I'm, about maybe 2-3 years away from being, an invalid. I'm about to get my AARP. I mean, it could be those things. I'm not sure, but
you getting those pamphlets in the mail? Say you're almost there, buddy. We're waiting.
I'm at the age of where, when I say this one phrase or this one word, it's different than when I used to say it. And that one word is depends.
What size, sir?
It used to mean that, it was just you had options. Now it
Right.
just means you got leakage.
Well, brother, I truly.
The word incontinence has meaning to me.
You really getting it now? Like, man, this shit is real.
So there's a continent and then there's an incontinence. I don't know. Like now.
Hey, this thing is real out here, people. This shit is not a game. It's not a joke. There are people who can't control their urine. It's just leaking out. We need to be more aware of this.
Yeah, black bladders matter. Saying.
All bladders matter.
Mhm. I say sometimes a nigga get to laughing and you like, "Oh, he just abruptly stopped his laugh."
And don't you want to be confident that when you do have that moment and you can't make it, you got something you can depend upon that's gonna keep you from leaking outside your clothes? We gotta make sure we put enough money for research and development of these depends. They have to be the best we can possibly make them.
Right? Say when sneezing takes on a whole new result. Yes, you know when you sit down, somebody tickle you and you pee on them.
The first thing you do, you laugh, you say, ah, grab your crotch. Say, wait, I gotta go.
They say, "Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need you to sit up there." And you walk past me and go, mm.
Boy, I tell you. Yes, indeed. Well, I hope that that you get there, brother. I hope that you are able to one day have that thing and be able to get that family that you so desire. I think you can, man. It's just the
Right? Because I mean, I
process.
look at it. I got a lot of pillows in my house, and what better to use them for than that family that you are now tired of that you work so hard to get?
This guy, man.
Well, apparently, that's what goes on with these families these days. These people who actually have the families end up smothering them.
You're right. Oh
Yeah.
man. They
So
just
I
wind up
I
doing
just want
something
to
to
have
them,
an
man.
unsmothering like kind of love. You know when your kids say uh to sometimes to your parents, "Stop smothering me," like they really,
They
you know,
really
it
do mean
has a new meaning as well.
it. This guy, man. So have we pretty much is there anything else about the film and about the project and just overall what you do that you want people to know?
Well, I want to thank everyone who had something to do with the film, all the people behind the camera, in front of the camera, and all that stuff. Without you, this would have never happened. And I want to thank all of you guys who put your money where your mouth is because you didn't have to. You said, "I'm going to say that it's worth it to put down some money that maybe even more than what another type of film would make." And you did it just to support my dream, my vision, my project.
Yeah.
So I think that means more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say this. It's like it's not too often where you find somebody who is truly passionate and authentic with what it is that they're trying to do, and just the overall tire, just day in and day out, tireless, just effort, the blood, the sweat, the pain, and the tears that you consistently not just put into this movie, but what you are putting into what it is you do every day. I think that it's not enough thank yous, it's not enough salutes, there's not enough donations that we can make to just say, hey, what you're doing truly matters and it really means something. And I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity that I get sometimes to be able to just share this space with you and this opportunity with you. So I hope that I'm speaking for them too in this matter, just to say, man, we have no idea, no clue as to what it is that you have to endure. What we see on camera, what we see and what you allow us to see from a live perspective is one thing. But what you deal with personally, behind the scenes, what you deal with when the cameras are off, what you have to deal with friends and family, we have no clue. But we should all still have that same common respect and just the and honor you and just saying, man, thank you. We appreciate you. We truly do have a tremendous amount of love and support for you and what you do. And it's not easy, the cross that you bear and the road that you walk, but you blaze a path for plenty of other people to begin to just do just what it is you said, and that's have the conversation, and that's just speaking out of what we see and that's wrong. I personally can testify for, had it not been for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. I owe so much to you as a man, as a YouTuber, as a just my personal growth level and just what I've actually been able to, gain in life. There's a lot of that I owe to you, and I just want to say thank you. Um, and a lot of people feel the same way, and they just don't get to be able to do this. So I'm taking advantage of it. I love you, brother. I appreciate everything that you have done, and it is truly an honor to know you and to be able to just share energy and space with you, man. I thank you.
Well, I thank you, and I want to do a little small. I want to throw a little program note out there if I can. If you guys are anywhere in the Chicago area, remember I will be live in Chicago. You can buy your tickets now. TommySotomayor.com. Go. I will be there on August the 17th. The show starts at like 11. The first hour is going to be VIP, so that starts at 10. Then 11, the show starts. It's 11 to 1. Make sure you guys come out, check it out. 2 hours of some stupid shit, but you may enjoy it. You may. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it or not. I'm gonna be there, and if you want to be there too, buy a ticket. Come check us out. Have fun with us. I love you all and everyone out there. Thank you so much. And Brian, thank you so much. I've watched your work. I've watched all you guys branch out and do your own thing, and I think it is really awesome what you guys are doing. And I think it's very awesome that you have more than 8 people watching.
I think so too, man. I really do. It is truly good to see the bar and to be above it. I can tell you that, man. When you see that bar and see where it's set at that just straight 8, and you can go above that, I'm telling you, man, it's satisfying. It truly is. To know that, hey,
I thought I was going to get Quentin Tarantino'd and just come and see Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, you got people that's been doing this thing for years and been using my name every damn day, and you still got 8 people.
8 people.
And
absolutely.
The Soto Nation. It was just weird. I'm looking at it and I was like, man, he just really talking to them 8 disgruntled people.
Yes. I tell you, man, it's amazing to see something.
That man's got to be Ronald Disgruntled.
What was that? Was that Sesame Street? Would that be like today's number? Today's episode was brought to you by the number 8. Is that what they used to say on Sesame Street or Electric Company? One of them.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11, 12. Oh my God, boy! I tell you, man, brother.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I have 8 people watching.
8 billion.
8 people viewing my channel right now. Man, I don't get it, man. I got 8. Boy, I tell you, man, it's something else. Hell, even Oceans had 10. Oceans had 11. Oceans had 12.
God dog, Daddy Ocean was able to get more motherfuckers to go and rob the Bellagio.
Or bank heist, or motherfuckers to go to jail or get killed forever. He was able to do it. Got away with it. Came back, got another group of motherfuckers do just as much all over again.
If they turn that 8 to the side, at least Buzz Lightyear will come through.
To infinity.
It was from infinity to beyond.
Oh man.
See, Jesus more people, and he didn't have the internet. Jesus,
Jesus, right? Jesus, wait. Jesus, sight unseen, just been born, was able to rally up 3 motherfuckers he didn't even know. He had 3 niggas come across. 3 niggas came across the continent on a motherfucking camel. And they bought him something.
Cash app before the cash app.
Right.
They had mule app.
Hey, look, Jesus, I know we don't know you, man, but we at least gonna put this myrrh in your cash app. My other boy, he brought some frankincense. And my other homie, he brought a little gold, man. I know
it don't make frankincense.
We know you only you can only breastfeed right now. You can't work no wonders or nothing, but hey man, we gonna at least give you this. just for being born.
Yo, man, I really enjoyed this. You put a smile on my face.
Oh man,
Now,
it's a pleasure.
about that damn water over here that I gotta go and try to suck this shit back. I mean, damn it,
There you go.
I gotta vacuum this shit back up.
Yes.
Just,
Oh man, I tell you. Hey man, well I definitely, huh?
This house is a money pit. I feel like Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks in the money pit. Hey man, it's just what it wasn't nobody in that house for a while though, right?
Well, I think maybe like 4 months.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you'd be all right, man. I tell you what thing though, that I'm so glad you got that pool together because when you filmed that shit with the frogs and shit out there, nigga, I wouldn't have went out there. When you open that door, all that shit was going on. I was like, boy, where the fuck this nigga moved to?
Ooh, man.
That shit there? No way. Nope. No, sir. I wouldn't have went out there for nothing.
Yep. It was like Deliverance out there in that.
They said, we had an entry. This ain't entry.
I don't know what. I said, this is too much. Luther Vandross lied. He says never too much, but he lied. It was too much.
Man, I'm telling you, boy, that was some other shit there. But I just want to say thank you for this time, man. I know you got to go. I appreciate it, man. And I hope that, well, he's already said, y'all, that I'm going to at least be the best boy grip in in whatever sort of film comes out with next. So hopefully I can work my way up from there and we'll see what happens.
Well, I tell you what, we will make it happen. But when it comes to the casting couch, I don't share.
Hey man, what you do on your casting couch, that's your business, man. I don't want no part of that, man. You go ahead, you have that. That's your thing. Less sex, less chicken, do what you do.
Let's check it and then we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, bro. We got to do it again.
Yes, sir. Indeed, man. I appreciate you. And everybody else, thank you guys so much. Anybody that donated, I will read it out on the next show. I want to go ahead and end this on a good note. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, my brother. It was an honor. Thank you to Soto Nation. Salute to you guys. And hey, till next time, man. Peace.
Peace out.